Hey everybody, it's Ansel again and I am back. Today we'll be taking a very brief look at Zoom98. This isn't going to be very in-depth or anything like that, but you're going to get a good sense of the board and why you should or shouldn't buy it. Just as a disclaimer, this board was sent to me for free for review, as all boards are in majority of these videos, but as always, nothing shall change my opinion. I was not paid to say anything positive about the board. This is my total, raw, and honest thoughts. So let's start with the features. It has a tri-mode hot swap PCB with tons of flex cuts, or none if you want. It has compatibility for either a screen, a knob, extra keys, or a badge in this portion of the keyboard. It has RGB, which honestly looks pretty good. And it also has these removable feet inspired by the Frog TKL. The removable feet on these prototypes are actually really bad, but honestly, they promised me that it would be better in the production run, and I think we can trust Meletrix to do that. I mean, they've done pretty good work before, and I don't expect them to do a bad job with these feet in the future as well. Now, aesthetics-wise, this board is actually not too bad. It's a very chunky boy, and it really carries that throughout the entire board. Versus the QK100, which is a similar board at a similar price range, I personally prefer the QK, but that's because I prefer these thinner-ish boards. I think people that prefer the bigger, chunkier, thicker boards will much prefer the Zoom98. And this little bit of RGB is a nice little touch of flair that isn't too tacky, so it can go either way for you. Personally, I prefer the QK100, but I think the Zoom98 looks pretty good as well. Next, we're gonna talk about feel. For me, I have it with the flex cuts, no foam, and the PC plate. It's pretty soft, has a good amount of flex, and overall, I actually kinda like it. However, if you want a more stiff typing feel, you can go for a stiffer plate, no flex cuts, and you can throw in more foam. However, I don't think you're gonna get it super stiff if that's what you want, but you're gonna get it pretty close. Next is the sound, the most important aspect, and I can happily report that this board sounds pretty good without any foam. Now, I think it sings the best with just the plate foam, but honestly, without the foam, which is how I prefer it, is totally fine. I would also like to believe that if you have the non-flex cut PCB, it should sound even better without the foam, but I can't really say for sure. I don't have it. My only nitpick sound-wise is that R2 is a little bit hollow, but it's not a huge deal, and again, you can still clean it up with a bit of case foam if you need to. But otherwise, sound-wise, you can totally run it without any foam, and that makes me really happy. Also, I was sent these really awesome switches by Unikeys. These are the HMX Shinhai, I believe that's how they're pronounced. But they're pretty good, they're 35 cents a switch. Yes, I was sent them for free, but no, that does not affect how I feel about them. They're pretty smooth stock, and they perform really well stock, so definitely check them out if you don't want to have to mod your switches. They're pretty sweet. Finally, let's talk value. This thing is sub 200 all said and done. The only other board that I could think of that touches this board for the quality, price, and overall value is the QK100. And again, I think which one you pick is gonna be totally dependent on which one you prefer in terms of aesthetics. I think both are gonna sound and feel the same. And even though I haven't tried the QK100, I've tried almost every other QK board, and honestly, it's pretty much in line with the Zoom in regards to sound and feel. I don't expect the QK100 to be any different, so again, whichever one you choose is gonna be totally dependent on aesthetics. Personally, I prefer the QK100 because it's thinner, has a nicer weight, and I like that the screen is vertical rather than horizontal compared to the Zoom98. But honestly, it can go either way, and both are fantastic looking keyboards. All in all, I can totally recommend the Zoom98, but I still think you should keep the QK100 in your consideration. There should be future runs of that board, so if you're willing to wait, and that board is more preferable to you in regards to aesthetics, then go for that one. But again, if you need a board now, and if you like the chunky aesthetic, then totally go for the Zoom98. And that's kind of all I got for you guys. Thank you so much to Meletrix for sending out this board. It's great, and I love looking at budget boards that are really good. This is definitely one of them. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you next time. Peace. On my way back to your